Well, 2024 is long gone, and with all the major titles getting wide releases, it's time to assess which movies define the year. I'm Pedro from Vinyl N Celluloid, and these are my top 10 picks of 2024. Starting the list at number 10 is Latvian animated feature Flow, which premiered last spring at Cannes. Flow follows an unnamed gray cat navigating a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by ecological disasters. The cat's home is destroyed by flooding, leading it to board an unmanned sailboat alongside a capybara. Along their journey, they encounter other animals including a golden retriever, a secretary bird, and a treasure-collecting lemur. These animals must cooperate to survive, facing numerous dangers, and ultimately learn to coexist in hopes of reaching a new home. Gwen Civalavi's animated feature is one of the best genre titles released in recent years, a heartwarming story that proves engagement can be achieved with no words through a film that contains no dialogue. You'll cry, laugh, and root for a cast of charismatic characters who break away from Hollywood animated tropes, showing that a title doesn't need a barrage of jokes or pop culture references to be meaningful and relatable. Flow also highlights the democratization of animation and cinema overall, showcasing the creative potential of open source software in producing quality animation, an achievement that won't leave you indifferent. For the night spot, I've chosen Clint Eastwood's latest and possibly last film, Juror Number 2. Juror Number 2 centers on recovering alcoholic journalist Justin Kemp, played by Nicholas Hoult, serving as a juror in a high-profile murder trial. Kemp begins to suspect that he may have caused the victim's death in an accident, leading to a moral dilemma about confessing or remaining silent. As he grapples with his guilt, he faces pressure from various figures, including fellow juror Harold, played by J.K. Simmons, his sponsor Larry Lasker, played by Kiefer Sutherland, and the prosecutor Faith Kilbrew, played by Toni Collette. His growing bond with the defendant further complicates his ethical conflict. At 94 years old, Clint Eastwood continues to demonstrate filmmaking excellence. Juror Number 2 brings a fresh perspective, turning the courtroom drama genre on its head with a tense and impactful narrative. The film serves as a bridge between Sidney Lumet's classic 12 Angry Men and 2023's Palme d'Or winner Anatomy of a Fall. It masterfully portrays the American justice system, exposing its flaws whilst exploring the moral complexities each character faces. Additional points for a supporting cast that shines with standout performances from Toni Collette, Chris Messina, J.K. Simmons, and Kiefer Sutherland. In a nutshell, Juror Number 2 encapsulates Eastwood's filmmaking style and his ability to communicate America's rights and wrongs. And at number 8, we have Coralie Farge's sophomore effort, the body horror satire that became last year's sensation. Of course, I'm talking about The Substance. The Substance features Demi Moore as Elizabeth Sparkle, a former actress turned fitness guru struggling with aging and relevance. Desperate to reclaim her youth, Elizabeth begins using a mysterious black market drug that creates a younger alter ego named Sue, played by Margaret Qualley. As Elizabeth and Sue vie for control of their shared existence, tensions rise, with Sue growing addicted to attention and Elizabeth fighting to retain control of her life. Hollywood loves a comeback story, and Coralie Farge's body horror satire is the perfect vehicle to celebrate Demi Moore's legacy. The film gives Moore a role that fully showcases her talent, boldly fighting ageism in an industry constantly chasing the next big thing. Beyond Moore's outstanding performance, Margaret Qualley shines in a terrifying role, building on her commanding presence from Sanctuary. Farge pays an honest tribute to classic horror titles and influences, outshining many new auteurs in the genre. Of the many examples, we find the impossible architecture of liminal spaces echoing The Shining, David Lynch's symbolic touch, and David Cronenberg's body horror mastery. The film makes this list also because of the way it excels as both an original entry and an homage-driven piece that successfully balances style with substance. Pun intended. Now coming in at the 7th slot is the extremely polarizing Megalopolis directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Certainly a controversial pick on my end. Megalopolis is set in New Rome, a futuristic version of New York City where architect Caesar Catalina, played by Adam Driver, dreams of building a utopian city. His aspirations are opposed by Mayor Franklin Cicero, played by Giancarlo Esposito, who launches the smear campaign. Caesar's plans are further complicated by family drama and political intrigue. When a catastrophic event hits New Rome, Caesar has the chance to start building his city, leading to a power struggle among the key players. Megalopolis' presence on this list is a controversial one given its polarizing reception. It's easy to dismiss any praise for this film as mere respect for one of Hollywood's greatest talents, or even a nod to Coppola's tenacity. Over 4 decades in the making, Coppola's latest is a bold exploration of creation, artistic vision, ideals, and the very nature of societies. The self-funded picture may feel flawed and clunky to some, but I found it innovative and fresh. If you need a visual representation of the Japanese concept of kintsugi, that is the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, this is it. Simplicity and grandeur coexist in a terrific effort. This movie stands as proof that after 6 decades in the game, Coppola still got it. And I'll question the taste of anyone who says otherwise. In the sixth position on my ranking, there's the Brazilian drama I'm Still Here, directed by Walter Salles. I'm Still Here follows ex-Congressman Rubens Paiva, played by Sultan Melo, as he secretly supports anti-regime movements in post-coup Brazil. After Paiva's arrest and disappearance, his wife Eunice, played by Fernanda Torres, takes charge of searching for him amidst government surveillance and repression. Despite constant obstruction from authorities, Eunice's resolve strengthens as she seeks justice for her husband whilst holding her family together. Walter Salles brings this true story to life with a precise vision and sensibility that only someone who lived under the military regime could convey. I'm Still Here presents a deeply personal tale of resilience, reflecting the broader impact of Brazil's dictatorship on countless families who faced similar tragedies. At the heart of the film's excellence is Fernanda Torres' exceptional performance, masterfully balancing grief and strength as she protects her family whilst searching for her husband. Salles and Torres' talents merge to offer a compelling perspective on Brazil's tumultuous history that educates and shocks without resorting to gratuitous violence. The film wisely focuses on psychological tension, avoiding exploitation, and offering a more measured emotional journey. I'm Still Here also stands out for its cultural authenticity, steering clear of unnecessary references, which is rare in today's cinema. Special praise goes to the eclectic soundtrack, blending the vibrant culture of 1970s Brazil with the political repression of the time. Mandatory viewing in my book and one of the year's finest films. And rounding up the first half of the list is Dune Part 2, Denis Villeneuve's continuation of Frank Herbert's epic saga. In Dune Part 2, Paul Atreides and Lady Jessica have joined the Fremen, with Paul poised to fulfill a prophecy of bringing peace to Arrakis. However, tensions arise within the Fremen and between the warring houses. As Baron Harkonnen shifts leadership to Feyd-Rautha and Emperor Shaddam IV loses control, all forces converge for a final confrontation on Arrakis, where power and prophecy will be decided. Dune Part 2 is a cinematic feast for the eyes and ears. The score, the cinematography, set designs, and the tonal shifts that take place when the movie goes from planet to planet are extremely well executed. The scene where Paul first rides a sandworm will be one of those pivotal moments in movie history that will be included in movie montages until the end of time. But the title isn't an exercise of style over substance, with plenty of juicy content brought to life by the hand of a master. As the novel required, Denis Villeneuve stepped on the action without ever making it seem forced or rushed. The pace is excellent, and we finally have a chance to see the Fremen revolt in a detailed way and not in a rushed assembly, as seen before in the 1984 iteration. All of this is brought to life through an almost impeccable casting that showcases Hollywood's young and rising talent, though Timothée Chalamet continues to stick out like a sore thumb. With this title, Villeneuve proves that the soulless, dull, and glacial pace comments that Dune Part 1 was the target of were misguided. He does what Nolan failed to ever do, what Spielberg no longer does, and what Ridley Scott decided he should stop doing. Here's to Dune Messiah, and the upcoming Rendezvous with Rama. In the fourth slot is Edward Berger's brilliantly executed Vatican-set drama Conclave. Conclave begins with the death of the Pope, prompting the election of a new leader for the Catholic Church. Cardinal Lawrence, played by Ralph Fiennes, oversees the secretive process where political factions and personal rivalries emerge among the candidates. As Lawrence uncovers secrets and faces doubts about the Church's future, unexpected developments in the voting throw the outcome into question. Director Edward Berger delivers a truly cinematic experience, a rare case where everything in the movie works both independently and together. Acting-wise, the movie's second to none. Ralph Fiennes delivers a commanding portrayal of Cardinal Lawrence, masterfully balancing authority and vulnerability as the conflicted dean. The stellar supporting cast, which includes Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini, and the brilliant Sergio Castellitto, complements this intriguing take on the inner workings of the Vatican. Still, we find in Conclave a politically charged thriller that transcends the Vatican's corridors of power to address the very same social climate that we find in Western government elections, pitting liberals and conservatives in an ideological battle where strawman arguments and ad hominem fallacies dominate the discourse and aim to confuse in order to influence. Regardless of your religious affiliations or beliefs, this is a title you will definitely enjoy. Taking the third position is Sean Baker's Palme d'Or winner, Anora. Anora follows Annie, played by Mickey Madison, a dissatisfied Russian-speaking stripper in Brooklyn who enters a relationship with a wealthy oligarch's son, Vanya, played by Mark Eidelstein. After being hired by Vanya for a week, their romance escalates into a whirlwind marriage. However, their relationship is threatened when Vanya's parents discover their impulsive union, casting doubt on their future. Sean Baker once again dives into the world of adult entertainment and his ongoing mission to destigmatize sex workers. With tact and a calibrated combination of drama and comedy, he delivers a solid examination of the profession and the workers themselves as individuals, as people. It's impossible to discuss the 2024's Palme d'Or winner without praising the project's pivotal figure, Mikey Madison. Her portrayal resonates with authenticity, capturing Annie's struggles and aspirations with remarkable nuance. Baker, the auteur, avoids cliches and stereotypes, presenting Annie as a complex individual with both virtues and flaws, not just a symbol of female empowerment or a slay queen vehicle. This humanistic approach allows for genuine connection and relatability. The film also delves into universal themes of belonging and feeling unworthy of love. Annie's struggle to reconcile her past with her present resonates with anyone who has grappled with self-worth and the complexities of human connection. Anora successfully achieves its director's vision, offering a power and thought-provoking exploration of its themes. It stands out as one of the best films of the year due to its authenticity, compelling performances, and universal relatability. And for 2024's runner-up, I've chosen Mohammad Russolov's political drama, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. The Seed of the Sacred Fig centers on Iman, a government lawyer in Tehran, recently promoted to an investigating judge role in the Revolutionary Court during a time of political unrest. Though his new role brings wealth, it also forces him to make morally troubling decisions, such as signing death sentences for protesters without proper scrutiny. His wife, Najmeh, supports him, but their daughters, Rizvan and Sana, grow rebellious, influenced by feminist protests. Distrust grows, especially when his issued handgun disappears, further fracturing the family. The film's creation, shrouded in secrecy and fraught with danger, mirrors the tension and conflict depicted on screen. Razulov's clandestine filming, imprisonment, and escape from Iran, along with smuggled footage, amplify the film's impact and underscore the risks involved in creating art that challenges oppressive regimes. Still, despite the backstory being compelling, it doesn't overshadow the film itself. Razulov's slow-burn approach is perfectly crafted, capturing the tension and paranoia of a family caught between a loyalty to the regime and the yearning for change. The title is a meticulously crafted character study centered around the clash of values, the oppressive political climate, and religious fundamentalism. And the movie's slow pace allows the audience to fully understand this and immerse themselves in the character's experience and relate to their struggles. Soheila Golestani and Miso Zareh deliver incredible performances as the parents, embodying the complexities of their divided loyalties. Mahsha Rostami and Setare Malek are equally powerful as the daughters, representing the younger generation's desire for change. Add to these incredible performances and fantastic story the director's decision to incorporate real footage from the protests, and you have the recipe for a successful and impactful title that is simply one of 2024's finest. Now, before I unveil my pick for 2024's best title, here are some honorable mentions. September 5, a title that recounts the 1972 Munich Olympics terrorist attack from the perspective of the ABC Sports crew, who pivoted from covering the games to broadcasting the unfolding crisis. As they navigate ethical dilemmas and logistical challenges, their decisions impact the events on the ground. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. This documentary chronicles the life of Christopher Reeve, from his rise to fame as Superman to his transformation into a quadriplegic activist after a devastating horse riding accident. Using personal archives, interviews, and Reeve's own words, it highlights his perseverance, advocacy for medical research, and enduring legacy as the real-life hero. Inside Out 2. Riley's emotions, joy, sadness, and others face new challenges as anxiety and other emotions disrupt her mind during her teenage years. Together, they must help Riley rebuild her sense of self amidst personal struggles and a competitive hockey camp. Music by John Williams. This documentary explores the life and career of legendary composer John Williams, tracing his journey from jazz pianist to creating iconic film scores for titles like Star Wars and Jaws. Featuring interviews with filmmakers and musicians, it highlights his profound influence and impact on music and cinema. And finally, my pick for 2024's best movie, Brady Corbett's towering achievement, the epic, the fantastic, The Brutalist. The Brutalist, directed by Brady Corbett, tells the story of Laszlo Toth, a Hungarian Jewish architect and concentration camp survivor who immigrated to America after World War II. Staying with his cousin Attila, Laszlo faces several challenges, including a confrontation with Attila's client, Harry Van Buren. Seeking redemption from this event, Harry Lee Van Buren, Harry's father, commissions Laszlo to design a community recreation center. As Laszlo gains entry to high society and gets help to reunite with his wife Erzsébet and niece Sofia, his dedication to his work isolates him, forcing him to confront the toll his ambitions take on life and relationships. Amidst concerns about the decline of cinema, The Brutalist emerges as a grand, immersive, and thought-provoking epic that reaffirms the power of cinematic storytelling. It's a film that resonates beyond niche audiences and demonstrates that ambitious, large-scale projects can still be made outside of the big studio system. The film delves into the complexities of the American dream, exploring the tension between its idealized version and the harsh realities of reinvention, loss of identity, and the sacrifices required to achieve success, particularly for immigrants. The Brutalist also explores a multitude of themes, including the clash between self-made men and educated scholars, the burden of trauma, and the price of artistic ambition. It weaves in philosophical underpinnings, giving the film a profound sense of purpose and intellectual weight. Adrian Brody delivers a career-defining performance as Laszlo Toth, embodying the character's artistic rebirth, trauma, and ambition. Felicity Jones and Guy Pearce also shine in supporting roles, with Pearce delivering a nuanced and captivating portrayal of the industrialist Van Buren. The film's technical aspects are equally impressive, while Crawley's cinematography, David Yancho's masterful editing, and Daniel Bloomberg's haunting score add multiple layers of emotional depth. A great title, 2024's finest, and one that resonates with a word that will dominate this year: hope.